So what are the ingredients of a successful negotiation? Or what do you consider a successful negotiation? When there is a meeting of the minds, a meeting of the minds. Now, if I ask you, where's the mind? Okay, you might have a problem defining what a mind actually is. Is the mind in your head? Is it someplace else? And what does it mean to have a meeting of the minds? Well, whatever it means, it's absolutely necessary if you want to have a successful outcome to whatever your negotiation in. And remember, everything in life is a negotiation. If it's a business negotiation, if it's negotiating with your children or your husband or your wife, everything is a negotiation. I'm Rabbi Abe from RabbiAbe.com. Welcome. And hit the like button if you're on YouTube, the thumbs up, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Here we go. So negotiations are an extremely important idea. What is a negotiation spiritually? Spiritually, a negotiation means you create a connection between what we call the light and the vessel. Connection. Now, what does it mean, the light and the vessel? Well, we understand light. There is the godly force that we call light, but, everything represents or light or vessel, which basically means a giver or receiver. So everything in our world, in our life, you're on one end or the other. You're on the giving end or you're on the receiving end. If you're listening to this video right now, then you're a receiver, and I'm in the position of the giver, which we call the light. Not that I'm the light, I'm representing the energy of giving right now. Now, when you comment on YouTube, or if you have a consultation with me, you're now in the position of a light, because you're going to do something. When you go to the store to buy something, you're going to give your money. You're the light. And they're going to receive the money. They are the vessel, and so on. When you get together, you give your money and you receive your goods, you've created a connection between the light and the vessel. When you talk to somebody and there's a meeting of the minds, which means, I want this, you want this, and we want different things, whatever it is, but we come to an agreement. Now, you're getting what you want, and you're getting what you want, and that's what, in business they call a win-win situation, which should be the outcome of every successful negotiation. So there was a meeting of the minds, or shall I say, a meeting of the consciousness, where there is we call it a unification between the light and the vessel. The light of me and the vessel of me, and the light of me and the vessel of me, or you. We come together. I'm going to give you a tool right now to help in every negotiation to make it successful. Because one of the major issues are, and let's give two different examples. Let's say you're having a negotiation, let's be nice, with your spouse, and you're not agreeing on something. Could be anybody, by the way, that you don't agree with in that moment. And it could be even that they're upsetting you right now. They're saying things you don't agree with, and when someone says something harsh, I don't agree, what happens to us inside? We build a wall. Now, we all know that this is true, right? We create a wall. Now, what happens to our consciousness in that moment? Where's our mind? What's the mind? It's part of our consciousness. Now there's a wall. So how can you have a meeting of the minds if now there's a wall between you? Can you tell me that? Not possible. In business or in friendships, or maybe not friendships, sometimes we have to talk to people that we don't necessarily, like them. We don't agree with them, or their philosophies, or, their political, persuasions, or whatever it is. For whatever reason, we might naturally have a blockage with that person, or we just don't like them, but maybe we have to work with them. Maybe it's an employer or a prospective job or client in business, whatever it is. What do you do then? Because you're going into a situation with the wall. And there cannot be a meeting of the minds. Remember, meeting of the minds is a connection between the light and vessel, of you and of them. When we have that, there will be success. Whatever happens, there will be blessing, there will be success. It will be a win-win situation throughout that negotiation. But to get there, how do we get there? There's one very simple tool that I learned from my teacher. And it's very important. It sounds simple. I don't say it's simple to do. It's simple to say, but it requires meditation. And I'll tell you what it is right now. When you have to negotiate, or you're in the midst of a negotiation with someone, now, let's say it's a spouse, okay, right now. And we won't call it negotiation. There's, intense negotiations, which we may call arguments, okay? Now, within this argument, again, you can't help but feel, because generally, if we're already calling it an argument, there's a level of judgment there. You're this, you're that, the other. That's judgment, okay? When someone's telling you what you are, without sugarcoating it, okay? And again, sometimes there's that. That's life. It's coming without necessarily so much mercy. So, again, it's very difficult not to put up a wall, because we feel naturally to defend ourselves. It's only natural. Because we don't want to be. We're all, men are generally softer inside than women. Women are soft outside, but tougher inside, and men are the opposite. That's something for relationship course, okay? Men are very soft inside. Ego is very fragile, but tough outside, okay? We're exactly the reverse, and it's always like that, and it's meant to be that way. But what's very important within this process is to resist putting the wall up. And we call that a restriction. The restriction or the resisting putting a wall up, whichever end you're on, the male end or the female end, makes no difference. Handle it the same. Don't put the wall up. Don't defend yourself, because that's part of a wall. Just be open and listen. Listen. Let the words cleanse you, because there's a reason why you're hearing these words. Everything comes from the Creator. In fact, if you understand that this individual right now is a vehicle of the universe's light coming to me, it's my message. Remember, refer back to the class of this is a test or a message. Go back to that video. Is it a test or a message? But it doesn't really matter, because you need to handle it in the same way. First step, take it in, embrace it. It's painful, I know. It hurts, I know. Do it anyway. You'll see the benefit of the results. Now, if it's not with a familiar relationship, because there's business negotiations and so on, and again, you may not like the way they do things. You may not like them personally, but you need to deal with them. You may have a partnership with them. You're in business with them. What do? If you have a negotiation, find something. You have a date with them. Before you go in, meditate. And meditate on the best thing you can think of them. If you know them personally a bit, then meditate on their most positive characteristic that you can understand, that you can see. In fact, love it. Love it as best as you can. Inject this energy. Why? Because this creates the opening. If you do that, if you create the opening, you put down the wall. You smash the wall, and you have the opportunity for the meeting of the minds. In fact, the more you go against your nature with your wall, the more connection you're going to create within this negotiation. That is how you assure a successful negotiation, in spite of the fact that people are difficult. Listen, we're difficult for other people. People are difficult for us. Love some spark of the light that exists within them in order to create the unification before you have your negotiation. And in this way, you are assured of a positive result, whichever way it goes, a positive result in the end of your interaction. Be blessed, guys. Remember, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you on the next video. All the best.